This isn't a beer that pairs well with garlic. This is a beer that's made with garlic. My name's Martin Keane, and on this channel, the Homebrew Challenge, I brew a different beer each week until I've worked my way through a list of 99 beer styles. But every now and again, I do quite like to deviate from that list, and I think that garlic beer, well, that definitely qualifies as a deviation. I was chatting with my neighbours Ben and Elizabeth about strong, distinctive flavours that you could add to beer. We talked about crawfish and horseradish, and we ended up settling on garlic. And looking around, I couldn't find a lot of existing recipes for garlic beer, possibly quite understandably. But I did find one person that tried this with an extract recipe, and that's inspired me to have a go myself. So let's get to it. Now, in terms of the recipe, I wanted to build something fairly simple to really draw out the garlic flavors and not to distract from that with any kind of fancy specialty malts. So for the base malt, I'm going to use good old American 2-row pale malt. I'm putting a 2.5 gallon batch. So I'm going to use 60% of my grist to be this pale 2-row malt, which in my case is going to be 3 pounds. Overall, I'm going to get an original gravity of around 1049, which is going to give around about a 4.95% beer. Okay, so that's the base malt. Now for specialty malts, garlic, well, I think it pairs really well with bready flavors, garlic bread, pizza with garlic and so forth. So that's what I'm going for with my specialty malts. And I'm going to start off with 1 pound of Victory Malt. That's 20% of my grist. And then 1 pound of Carapils, the other 20%. I'm going to crush this up in my monster mill. I'm using a claw hammer supply system, which is effectively brew in the bag, so I can have a fairly fine crush with this. In my 2.5 gallon batch, I'm adding a few water salts. For my particular water, what that amounts to is that I'm using 2 grams of gypsum, 3 grams of Epsom salt, and 5 grams of calcium chloride. And then because this beer, or the grist for the beer, is quite light, there aren't many dark grains, well, I tend to find that I do need to adjust my pH just a little bit as well, because dark grains generally bring the pH down and I don't have any. So I'm going to add in 2 milliliters of lactic acid as well. I've preheated the water to 157 Fahrenheit. I'm going to mash at 152 Fahrenheit. So let's get this grain in. I'm going to mash this at 152 Fahrenheit, that's 67 Celsius, for maybe about an hour. I do find that these lower original gravity beers generally need a little bit less than that though. While that's mashing, let's talk about the garlic. I'm going to use 4 bulbs of garlic in this beer, and I'm going to split this up. So 2 of these are going to go into the boil, and this is just going to be raw garlic. And then I'm going to roast these 2, and I'm going to put these in the fermenter. So the first thing I need to do is to peel these things. It turns out the internet has a lot of different videos for how to best peel garlic. I'm going to give one of these a try. So What I saw said, first of all, you just peel the outer stuff off. And then you take each of the cloves and you just put them in a jar. And then give it a shake for 10 seconds. It worked for some, but not for others. Not working for me. The other tip online I saw is that you just apply a bit of pressure with a knife and it should just peel right off. Huh, that seems to work a bit better. Here is my peeled garlic. This is 2 bulbs and it smells delicious. Okay, that's going to go into the boil. For the other 2 garlic bulbs, I'm going to roast these using my new favorite kitchen gadget, an air fryer. So I've preheated my air fryer to 380 Fahrenheit, and all I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut the tops off of these heads. Steak knife isn't getting the job done, hold on. Chef's knife. What you want to do is just put these in some aluminum foil. So put this one back together. Okay, and then give it a spray with some olive oil. And then this goes into the preheated air fryer. For between 15 and 20 minutes. Okay, let's see how that came out. Oh, look at this. And they just fall out of their casings. That, oh, smells so good. Just gonna let these cool off before I peel them. But the mash is done, so let's get the grains out. I'm going to be boiling for 30 minutes and I'm only going to make one hop addition, which is going to be right at the start here, and that is East Kent Golding. So this is primarily just going to be used as a bittering hop, and it's going to provide about 30 IBU of bitterness. So we'll get the beer bitter, but we're not really going to add any sort of hoppy aroma or flavour. The garlic needs to be the star of the show. Just add this in. With 15 minutes to go, I'm going to add in the raw garlic, and I'm not even going to use the hop spider for this. I want to get this right, maximized flavor in the boil, so I'm just going to tip it right in. Ain't nothing but garlic cloves left in the kettle. I've transferred into my fermenter. I'm going to use for this beer Wyeast 1028. This is London ale yeast, which I think will work quite well with this malt bill. I'm at 75 degrees Fahrenheit right now. That's as cool as I could get it. So I'm just going to put this into my chest freezer for a few minutes to cool it down a little bit before adding the yeast in. Now, the original gravity came in on the money at 1049, and this definitely smells a little bit of garlic. So I was quite curious to taste the wort to see how much garlic flavor we got. Curious and also a little bit afraid. Cheers. Whew. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. That is sweet, toasty, and garlicky. This has some promise. Now, I've been a bit undecided as to when to add in the roasted garlic. You could just throw it straight in the fermenter right now. But what I've decided to do is I'm going to add this like a dry hop addition. So I'm going to let the beer ferment, and then just before I reach my final gravity, that is when I'm going to take this and add in this roasted garlic into the fermenter, and then leave it in the beer for about a week to condition just as the yeast is finishing up. It's been 5 days later now. I took a little gravity sample. Looks like we're nearly done with fermentation. So I'm going to add in my roasted garlic, which even just from unscrewing this lid smells wonderfully of garlic. Oh, this is going to be good. The way I'm going to put this in the beer is rather than just dumping it in and potentially blocking everything, I've got this little bag here which I used for cold brew coffee, and I'm just going to put it in here and then dump this in the fermenter. By the way, the wort, prior to dumping that in, it still tastes of garlic. Okay, it is time to taste the garlic beer, and I have a panel of tasters here from the neighborhood. I should say that this beer wasn't my idea. Yeah, entirely responsible, so now they have to drink it.
Yeah.
So first of all, does it smell like garlic? That's, I think, the first thing.
Oh yeah. It smells very garlicky.
No question, right?
It's smooth though. It's not a harsh garlic. It's a buttery garlic.
A buttery, yeah. Okay.
All right, so we're gonna try it.
Cheers.
Really good color too.
Wait,
Yeah,
we can't really see.
We can't see the color, but
very foamy.
it's a sort of a golden color.
Yeah.
All right, let's go for the taste. Cheers.
Cheers. I mean, I taste the garlic at the end, like after I'm starting to swallow it. That's when the garlic pops.
Yeah.
Half the sip, it hits you with the garlic, and then it just kind of finishes earthy.
Earthy.
Yeah, so
earthy.
I think that's a really good description, because the smell is very strong garlic to me, but the taste is a little bit of garlic. But I was worried about like an aftertaste of really strong garlic.
Yeah,
Not
which
at all.
it doesn't have that, right? I'm quite enjoying it.
I think it's
too.
very drinkable.
Yeah,
and I can imagine some really good pairings with some seafood or shrimp, something like a scampi, and I mean, more garlic.
I thought a steak. I thought a steak, because you know when they put garlic
Yeah, like butter.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that would be good. I bet it would taste really good.
Oh, yeah.
And then you drink the.
It's a very good garlic beer then. Isn't
As
it?
she just said,
This is the good
she
stuff.
hadn't even drank today.
Wow. Okay.
No.
Great, I guess
And
we're back.
There's no reason this should have worked, but I think it really did.
Despite everything.
Despite
Yeah.
everything, it shouldn't.
Now I
it
just want
shouldn't
to
be
drink a
this
little
good.
more.
Well, I appreciate the idea, because this has come out fantastic.
It really did.
So, cheers.
Cheers. Try it at home. Try it for yourself.